Alright, you know the drill. It's CelJaded playing TEW 2020. Look folks, it's now week 1 of March 2006, and you know what pay-per-view is coming next on this save. Now, I've been as coy as I can be about WrestleMania up till now. We had other pay-per-views that we were building towards, No Way Out, Royal Rumble. Well, that's over. It is now March. It is time to get this build into overdrive because we have only 1 month left until WrestleMania 22. And what better way to get us started with this huge 97 segment rating. Oh goodness, and I only just noticed he's invented a new catchphrase while he was at it. Oh man, can anything stop this man right here? It is the rated R superstar Edge, our WWE champion, and talking about his match tonight with John Cena. Huge rematch for the WWE Championship, of course. And Edge here, as he's midway through this promo, whispers something to Lita, and Lita calmly exits the ring. She walks up the rampway. She heads to the backstage area because she has something that she needs to do, apparently. And Edge, not going to say what that is, but he turns to the camera and he's all alone now and gets some quality promo time here talking about WrestleMania and how he will be going to that show still your WWE champion. So uncharacteristic here for the rated R superstar to look quite so confident. He's normally a paranoid wreck, but on this case, he is looking very comfortable and very confident about his chances against John Cena in that huge main event tonight. So there it is. Edge has spoken. Tonight, it will be him and John Cena for the WWE Championship. And yeah, like we said, this is the man to beat right here because Edge is on fire and it doesn't look like anything's going to stop him anytime soon. But good luck to John Cena anyway. And then we have got the CEO, Vince McMahon, who announces a match, finally, to unify the Tag Team Championships. And that match will be happening at WrestleMania, with the qualifying matches beginning tonight. So, we saw Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon discussing plans for the tag team division on SmackDown. We know, of course, that the division has been in chaos in recent months. You've had tag teams kind of fighting each other. You've had workers jumping brands and breaking their contract. Well, enough is enough. Vince wants this division brought back under control. And this appears to be the idea that Shane McMahon had to do just that. So it is Vince announcing that the tag team titles will become undisputed in some fashion at WrestleMania. And him and Shane are going to make the decision on exactly what form that match will take. And they have booked several qualifying matches, with the first one beginning tonight between Carlito, Chris Masters versus Gregory Helms and Ric Flair. So yes, like we said, these matches will be continuing through to SmackDown and Raw in the coming weeks. And at the end of it, Vince and Shane will be booking a match to decide who the new undisputed champions will be. And you can bet that the World Tag Team Champions, Big Show and Kane, and Johnny Nitro and Joey Mercury will factor into that match in some capacity. But great stuff here from Vince. And now this is a real opportunity to get some focus on our tag team division at last and really create a structure that can lead to success with this otherwise rather middling division. So good stuff here from Vince. Love to see it. And we are now back with Rob Van Dam, who we haven't seen in a while, but he is going to be wrestling Dolph Ziggler next. And just before this match commences, he's just taking a quick moment to talk about the injury that he recently came back from. But now, RVD is saying that he is only thinking about his next match. So it is time to get some momentum behind Mr. Monday Night, says RVD. And he's going to do just that against Dolph Ziggler next. Okay, well, unfortunately for Rob, he was off his game on this occasion, but even on an off night, he's still bringing a halfway decent rating for the match. But it seems that we were hit with a negative chemistry warning on this one, which is unfortunate. Old Dolph seems to doesn't seem to be clicking with RVD, unfortunately. But the match accomplished what we needed to do. It was just a quick one for Rob to go over strong with his 5-star frog splash, of course. And yeah, unfortunately on this occasion, we seem to have got another negative chemistry note that will add to our collection and kind of factor that into matches going forward from here. But either way, good to see Rob Van Dam back on our screens at last, getting himself a dominant win. in, and no doubt we'll see a lot more of him in the build-up to WrestleMania. So look forward to it. And then next we have Umaga, who is backstage doing what Umaga normally does, and that's demolish people. On this occasion, it's Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten. So we saw Umaga kind of take these two guys apart last time when he beat them in a handicap match, but he was stopped, if you remember, from completely destroying these two men when the Sandman kind of debuted on the last show. And Umaga seems to have playing a little bit of guerrilla warfare on his own now, going backstage and kind of waylaying Axel and Balls here. So Umaga taking it to the extreme as the storyline goes, definitely showing some aggression as he always does here on Monday Night Raw. But we're still backstage, and it is back with Vince now, who's not giving an interview. He is actually being filmed here, telling the security guards that Jerry Lawler is barred from ringside tonight, and barred from the arena as well. So Vince McMahon doesn't want to see Jerry Lawler anywhere near a ring. He doesn't want to see him anywhere backstage. He is barred from the arena tonight after kind of his conduct on the last show. So Vince McMahon making that very clear, and once again making himself an enemy of Jerry Lawler in the process. And then, look who it is. Hulk Hogan is here. And Hulk Hogan now with Vince McMahon, what a sight this is to behold, telling Vince that he is certain, dead certain, that Mr. McMahon will regret aggravating Jerry Lawler. And Vince McMahon looking very pensive about this, of course, with that lovable, pensive face that Vince McMahon is known to pull out every now and then. And it seems like old Hulk here seems to know something that Vince doesn't, and Vince looking, a little bit concerned by the Hulkster and kind of his ominous words here. Hogan's very sure that Vince is going to regret this decision. So what will that lead to? We'll just have to wait to find out. But I'm glad what this is leading to. It is Mickie James and Trish Stratus. And yes, here we go, the next chapter in this unfolding saga, where we have Mickie James once again urging Trish to take control of the women's division and show no mercy towards Maria next. So the last time we saw Mickie James and Trish Stratus, of course, Mickie goaded Trish into striking her own protege, Ashley. Very upsetting scene there for Trish. And Mickie James has kind of made the point. Look, Trish, you can't have these women in the locker room kind of walking all over you. You're the WWE Women's Champion. You're Trish Stratus. And you shouldn't have to put up with this. You need to go on the offensive. You need to show these women no mercy now. Show them who's boss, Trish. And show them that you are the top girl around here. And Trish has kind of almost been pushed here by Mickie James into challenging Maria, which is the match that will be coming up next. So it'll be Trish Stratus challenging Maria for the WWE Women's Championship, and that match is coming right up now. Alright, and not a bad match either. So it is Trish Stratus who gets the win over Maria here with the chip kick. And that is Trish, of course, once again defending her WWE Women's Championship. So not a bad rating, all things considered. We did use the protection notice here on Maria due to her inexperience. We've got Trish, of course, holding things together very well. A very strong worker in our women's division, of course, is Trish. And as we always say, the biggest story in this one is after the match, because here we have Mickie, who shoves Maria into Trish, triggering a brawl. So how do you like that? So let me just explain the setup here. So we've got Trish Stratus, who's just won the match with the chick kick. She's kind of got to her feet and ready to celebrate when Mickie James comes in there, kind of all applause, all smiles, and Mickie says to Trish, like, look, this is your chance. Show these women who's boss. And Maria's down, and Mickie basically doing the same thing she did last time, is kind of goading Trish into hitting Maria, basically, and making an example of her. But Trish, on this occasion, she's kind of learned a lesson with this, like, no, Mickie, I've made my point. That's enough. Look, I've just won the match, and we're going to leave it at that. So Trish is kind of, making that a very firm declaration there. And she turns her back. She walks to the corner now to collect her title belt, which is there at ringside, of course. And then Maria, who's recovering from the chick kick at this time, a little bit disorientated, kind of working out where she is. And Mickie here, what do we see? Mickie shoves Maria from behind. Maria doesn't know what's hit her. And Maria goes colliding right into Trish Stratus. And as Trish Stratus turns around, she just throws a right hand and catches Maria right in the face. And Maria, kind of startled here, wide awake now, hits her back, and what do you know, the brawl is on. And there you got Mickie James egging them both on. It is Trish Stratus and Maria getting into a real brawl here after the match. Referee has to separate these two women, and something very uncharacteristic from Maria, especially around this time with her character, is that she yells at Trish. Absolutely cusses Trish out, screaming at her, shouting at her. There's not an ounce of her old ditzy gimmick left at this point. Maria has just completely kind of flipped here, and quite rightly, by the way, calling out Trish Stratus for hitting her. And Trish now, after being kind of subjected to this tirade, looks very shaken as she kind of realizes kind of what she's done and what she's caused here once again. But once again, as we said last time, Mickie James is right there with a kind word in her ear saying, don't worry, Trish, you did the right thing. Like, screw her, screw Maria. Who cares what she thinks? You're the top girl around here. And Mickie James kind of raises Trish's hands, but Trish, once again, looking very shaken by this and is really not sure about kind of what she's just done. So a really good segment rating for this one, considering kind of Maria's kind of low popularity level. I did have a look at Maria's kind of stats before I set this segment up and noticed that she's got pretty good entertainment stats. Very, very strong, actually. Charismatic worker is Maria. So even though she doesn't have the experience behind her at this point, I gotta say, I'm thinking we might be able to do something with her after this, because I've been quite impressed, like I said, with her ability on the entertainment side of things. So watch this space with this one. We'll see what else we can do with Maria perhaps in the future. And it looks like she's got a really good gimmick as well, same as Mickie James on this save. I was really lucky to roll into that one when we set this mod up. So really, really happy for that. But yeah, good stuff as always from the women's division. And yeah, even in victory, Trish not looking like much of a winner, unfortunately. But you want to speak about winners? Here's one of them. It is John Cena, who will be challenging Edge, of course, later in the main event for the WWE Championship. He's still got the taped up ribs. He's not quite himself. And he runs into Lita backstage here, who immediately begins taunting him and taunting the fact that he looks like a beaten up shell of a man, no doubt. And then John Cena kind of retaliates here, and Lita storms off after Cena throws a few sick burns. So one of the commentators on these videos likened the segment descriptions here to improv notes, and I've got to say that is just the perfect description for these. I've always kind of thought of them that way myself, but I couldn't really think of the words to articulate myself well enough on that point. So I'm glad they did that for me. But yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing I would imagine you could hand to a worker like John Cena or Lita in real life, and they would just take this and kind of run with it. So you can only imagine what John Cena is kind of saying to Lita, what colourful language he's using towards Lita here in this segment. Yeah, I'll leave that up to your imagination. But good stuff anyway to see John back. He may not be himself, like we said, but he is ready to fight. And yeah, we'll no doubt hear from him later as we get closer to that main event with Edge. So next we've got Francine, who is urging her man, Ric Flair and Gregory Helms, to play nice ahead of their tag team qualifier match, which is coming up next against Carlito and Chris Masters. So we gave I actually set up a tag team for these two because I was using them so much. It's a shame I didn't do it earlier, because I thought a really nice name for these two would be the Nature Boys, Gregory Helms and Ric Flair, as a nice little tag team, and I quite like that idea. Yeah, I wish I thought of it earlier, but nonetheless, we've got our Nature Boys now, and yeah, they will be in action here. If they win this match, they may be getting a shot at the undisputed tag team titles at WrestleMania if they can just stay on the same page long enough. But yes, that match is now coming up. So Gregory Helms and Ric Flair with Francine at their side, of course, in tag team action. Let's get to it. Alright, and there it is. A decent match, but I'm afraid, folks, it is Carlito and Chris Masters who get the win over our newly christened Nature Boys. What a shame when Carlito pins Gregory Helms there with some underhanded tactics. But the story that's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle a little bit there, unfortunately, is the fact that, yes, Francine once again causing an inadvertent distraction, because it is Chris Masters who's kind of approaching Francine, maybe putting the moves on her a little bit there at ringside, and Ric Flair Flair immediately comes to her defense, trying to make up for last time and do the chivalrous thing. But of course, once again, what have you done, Rick? You've left your partner isolated in the ring. And Carlito there, maybe he's got a foreign object. Who knows? Maybe it's a low blow. I'll leave that up to your imagination. But it is Carlito who gets the advantage there on Helms. And gets the pin, unfortunately. So Greg Helms, poor Helms, has been pinned once again due to Ric Flair's incompetence. Or at least that's how it will seem to him anyway. Flair getting too distracted by Francine once again and leaving his boy Greg high and dry. And after the match, we know what's going to happen. It's Greg Helms, it's Ric Flair. They're bickering, they're brawling in what I like to think is the most pathetic way imaginable, kind of slapping each other and rolling around on the floor, just completely ineffectual, actually causing pain. It's a real scene here, and Francine tries her best to separate these two men who were clearly not destined for the tag team titles anytime soon. So Greg Helms and Ric Flair, they got all the chemistry in the world as a tag team, but they just can't get out of each other's way, unfortunately. So great stuff from them. Look forward to seeing them soon on the next episode of Raw. But it probably won't be as a team, let's face it. And, well, maybe it's best that they don't team up from now on, who knows. But, we are back here now with Umaga, who's still on the Rampage backstage. And now his little campaign here has reached Tommy Dreamer and Nova. And we've seen this scene before. It is Umaga once again demolishing the ECW faithful, the former kind of ECW stars, if you like. Mick Foley now and the Sandman are the ones who intervene here and make the save to kind of ward Umaga off. But he has very much made his point. The agenda was guerrilla warfare for him tonight, and he has succeeded once again in really weakening the ECW side. So they've got the numbers with them. But it doesn't seem that numbers are going to be enough to stop this man Umaga from wreaking havoc on the ECW locker room anyway. So good stuff. And Sandman, of course, just recently made his debut. We can imagine he'll be the next one to step in the ring with Umaga very, very soon. So look out for that one. But next, we have got Hulk Hogan, who is back. Yes, it's our Terry, and he has hit the ring now. He's got the microphone, and he wants to welcome everyone. He wants everyone to welcome a very special guest, and it is Jerry Lawler now, who hits the ring from the crowd. So remember, he was barred from ringside, but old Hulk there, we knew he had something up his sleeve, and he has snuck Jerry into the arena. And here's the reason why, because you remember what Vince said at the top of the show, and you just saw the tag team match earlier, that Carlito and Chris Masters qualified for potentially a shot at the tag team titles at WrestleMania. So Hulk Hogan is kind of staking his claim right now. How about it? You and me, Jerry, let's team up one more time. We can win the tag team titles at WrestleMania. And Hogan's making a really good point here, that this is the opportunity they've been looking for. If they can win a qualifying match, if they can get to that supercard, Hogan and Jerry, they've teamed together before. They know they've got the potential here to do this. And Jerry Lawler wants to get to WrestleMania, and Hogan can be right there with him. So Hulk Hogan and Jerry Lawler, it can happen, says Hogan. So you know what's going to happen next. The music hits, and you know who's coming. There he is, folks, and he looks pissed, let me tell you. Vince McMahon, he wanted Jerry Lawler out of here. And Vince now approaching the ring, doing the full-on Vince strut as he always does. But Lawler's grabbed the mic here as Vince is making his way to the ring. And Lawler is taking a moment here to shoot his shot, so to say. And he wants to get in as much kind of mic time as he can before Vince hits that ring and probably orders him out of there. And Lawler admits that WrestleMania is an obsession. It has become an obsession with him. He cannot let this go. No matter what Vince McMahon says, he will get to Vince McMahon. He will get to WrestleMania at Vince McMahon's expense if he has to. So Jerry kind of staring a hole through Vince McMahon here. And, of course, Hogan has made the challenge as well, seemingly to Vince now, who's coming into the ring. But when Vince hits that ring and he gets on that apron, Jerry Lawler kind of making it very, very clear about how obsessed he is about getting to WrestleMania. He will do it with Vince, or he will do it without Vince's blessing, says Lawler. And he is pointing right at Vince McMahon when he says this. And as Vince enters the ring, Jerry Lawler makes his move and he grabs Vince McMahon by that scruff. And he raises his fist. And you know what's coming next, folks. Because if Jerry Lawler needs a match at WrestleMania, he will get it one way or another. And he is going to get it right here, right now. And Vince now kind of wincing, preparing for the strike to come. And bam! Lawler cheap shots Hogan in front of a stunned Vince. Yes, Jerry Lawler releases Vince. He turns around and he clocks Hogan with a cheap shot to end all cheap shots. And Vince there absolutely stunned as Jerry Lawler beats the living crap out of Hulk Hogan, beats him right down into the mat, picks up the mic, and with kind of blood on his knuckles now that he wipes off on Vince's tie right in front of him, Vince's kind of jaw has hit the floor here, and Lawler just holds up the mic, stares Vince right in the eyes, and asks him one question. Is that good enough? And reading between the lines here, folks, we know what that means. And just so it's definitely clear, that is what it means. Jerry Lawler, folks, has just turned heel on Hulk Hogan. And Jerry Lawler, eyeing up Vince McMahon, this man who you thought was going to face at WrestleMania at this rate, and he's saying, is that good enough? Is that special enough for you, Vince? Is that marketable enough for you? Is this what you wanted? You wanted the old Jerry Lawler back? Is this who I have to be? The king of WWE? The king of pro wrestling? Is this the guy I have to be to get to WrestleMania? Well, maybe I'm putting words in his mouth a little bit, but that's what we are going to infer from that question that he has just asked Vince. And Jerry Lawler leaves Hulk Hogan in a kind of beaten down mess here at Vince's feet, and Vince kind of looking at the blood on his tie, looking at Lawler, who's now walking up the ramp to a shower of booze. And you gotta admit, Vince, he's got a smile on his face, and he can smell something in the air, and that smell, you know it, folks, smells like money. So yeah, more to come on this one on our next episode of Monday Night Raw. But time for something completely different. It is Triple H and CM Punk, and these two men are not fighting. They're actually having a very cordial conversation backstage, as they like to do. So there you have it, Triple H and CM Punk just having a nice, innocent, little friendly chat, and the perfect palate cleanser to that previous segment. So good stuff here from these two guys, Triple H and CM Punk. Happy as clams here in WWE backstage. Love to see it. But two men who are not happy as clams are these two men, Booker T and Shawn Michaels. And we have learned just now from Shawn Michaels that, there's going to be a match because Michaels has hit the ring. He said that this thing between Booker T and him, of course, is not coming to an end until they settle it definitively in the ring. But Booker T hits said ring before the match, and he hits HBK with a chair. So Shawn Michaels has made his entrance. He just had his little promo time, as we said there, very quickly. He's made his entrance, and before he can even hit the ring, Booker T attacks him from behind and just goes off on him with a steel chair. Absolutely batters Shawn Michaels here into the mat with the steel chair. And what have we got to say about this? So Shawn Michaels kind of like dead to rights in the ring. The referee is there, and like Shawn Michaels is kind of barely conscious at this point. But Shawn saying that he wants the match. So the bell is rung. But unfortunately, you can probably see what's going to happen because in 42 seconds, and I'm not sure how you get a match this good in 42 seconds, but if one man can do it, it's Shawn Michaels. But hey, Booker T is right there with him. Fair play here, fair play. And it is Booker T who, after beating Shawn Michaels black and blue with a chair in 42 seconds, hits the axe kick, hits the bookend, 1, 2, 3, Booker T is your winner. And Booker T has just beaten Shawn Michaels for the second time. And if I'm got my numbers correct, folks, that means Booker T has just gone 1-up in this feud after they kind of shared a victory over each other and then a draw as well. And Booker T, by hook or by crook, has just beaten Shawn Michaels. And then after the match, Booker T is celebrating his cheap win over the downed Michaels here in very dominant fashion. So, not the exactly the most uncontroversial way to get a win, but Booker T nonetheless has just pinned Shawn Michaels in very dominant fashion. Not in any way fair, of course, but all's fair in love and war, perhaps, because as much as Shawn Michaels loves the spotlight, Booker T loves it just that little bit more, it would seem. So Booker T, unfortunately, getting the win at HBK's expense here, and you can bet when we come back to this one that Shawn Michaels is going to have something very, very strong to say to Booker T. But before we get there, we've got more of Monday Night Raw to come, and we have got RVD, who's backstage now after a victory earlier in the night in his match against Dolph Ziggler, and RVD crosses paths with CM Punk again backstage. It's funny how that keeps happening, isn't it? But nonetheless, Punk refuses to talk to him, so as chatty as Punk likes to be with Triple H, he still has nothing to say to Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam, of course, the man who beat him at the Royal Rumble, and CM Punk is certainly one to hold a grudge, as we know. So CM Punk still has nothing to say to Rob Van Dam, despite Rob Van Dam's best attempts at kind of offering the olive branch there. So unfortunately for RVD, he's not going to be on the best side of CM Punk anytime soon, by the looks of it. But we are getting very close now to our main event. It is imminent, and who better here to introduce kind of the scene than John Cena, one of the men who will be in that huge main event match for the WWE Championship. It is our challenger, John Cena, who admits here in an interview that yes, he is not 100% after the attack 2 weeks ago and kind of coming back a little bit too soon last week as well and exerting himself to kind of put the beat down on Edge. John Cena says that he admits he is not 100%. He's got the ribs taped up. He's not feeling himself. But even though he's not 100%, he has enough percent left to take down Edge and become the WWE champion again. So John Cena so desperate to get that title back in his hands, so desperate to be champion once again, that he's going to do it at the expense of his health. And he will become WWE champion tonight, because this is week 1 of March. We are getting closer, ever closer to WrestleMania. John Cena wants to be the champion going into WrestleMania. So that's the scene. And will John Cena get what he wishes? We will have to see, as that match is coming up very soon. But before we get there, we've got one last segment, and it is Edge, who seems very composed ahead of the main event, and he asks Lita if he can count on her, to which Lita says in a bit of a mocking tone here, well, 100%, yes you can. So kind of making fun of Cena's 100% promo from earlier, of course, that they've probably just seen on the monitor. But yeah, Lita, Edge asking Lita if kind of what they discussed has all been taken care of and everything's kind of ready for tonight. And Lita looking very confident here, apparently. So Edge, it would seem, who exits this scene now with his title in hand, exits the scene alone, and Lita does not accompany him to the ring. So interesting scene here ahead of the WWE Championship rematch. But nonetheless, we are hoping for big things here tonight, because it is our two hottest stars. It is Edge and John Cena for the rematch. The winner will be WWE Champion. Let's get to it. Okay, and what a strong rating it is. So in a bout that had fantastic heat and great wrestling, sorry folks, Edge defeats John Cena in 13 minutes there, when John Cena was counted out after being attacked by Lita, and Edge, I'm afraid to say, is still WWE Champion, even if he accomplished it much like Booker T did earlier in the most kind of wretched and despicable way possible. So here's the scene, folks. We've got a nice little match developing between Edge and John Cena. John Cena not 100% of course, but he's fighting through that injury as only a babyface can do. And then Edge kind of looks like he's going to take a powder here, and he's going to walk away from the match, and he's going to get himself counted out, and he'll retain his title that way if he has to. And John Cena, of course, realizing the danger, heads right out there with him. There's a brawl on the rampway. Edge, he gets the better of Edge, and that's when it happens. Edge kind of grabs the referee for support, heads back to the ring there as the kind of referee tries to urge them back into the ring. And as Cena kind of tries to catch up, it is Lita who comes from behind and kind of jumps onto John Cena from behind, kind of starts choking him with what looks to be a chain there, it would seem. And John Cena kind of shakes her off, but as he does, we'd realise it wasn't a chain that Lita had in her hand. It was actually a pair of handcuffs. And you see these all the time in wrestling, don't you? And I'm not going to kind of cast aspersions on where Lita got those handcuffs. I'll leave that up once again to your imagination. That's what we're doing here. We're imagining, aren't we? So Lita's got the handcuffs, and she handcuffs John Cena there at the rampway. So whether it's to the guardrail or to one of the kind of those huge cases that we've got there in the aisleway, but John Cena now is trapped, and he can't get free. And Lita's kind of like backing away with a kind of a huge grin on her face. And Edge there kind of forcing the referee now, count. He's saying to the referee, count. And he's kind of shoving the referee. He's kind of like, he's urging the referee to make the count. And the referee's got no choice. And obviously John Cena's quite a bit down the rampway there. The referee can't see quite what's going on. And he counts. And John Cena, as much as he tries, cannot get free. And then it happens. The 10 count happens. Edge celebrates like a complete goof in the ring. He's done it again, folks. He has outsmarted John Cena with the help of Lita, of course. That royal bitch that she is. A heel that she is has cost John Cena his rematch. And of course he wasn't 100% coming into the match either. And that's only made things worse. And now, what scene do we get after the match? And oh my goodness, another 99 segment. We haven't seen many of those on this save. But here we've saved the best till last, folks, because John Cena is still handcuffed out there, and Edge has retrieved his title belt. He's got Lita by his side, and they're kind of like getting in John Cena's face here, mocking him, taunting him, as the officials are kind of like realised of what's happened and kind of looking for some way to free John Cena. And Edge takes full advantage with Cena immobilised there, and he wallops the challenger with that WWE title belt. Cena collapses to the ground. The officials kind of storm in to separate Edge from John Cena, and Edge holding up the belt that he has just pummeled Cena with, and Cena now on the ground, almost unconscious it would seem, and Edge is still your WWE champion. And what a sickening display here from our WWE champion, and what a way to send Raw off the air with this super hot angle from our two hottest stars. Absolutely love to see it. And as we finish our show here, oh my goodness, look at that. That's a rating I never could have dreamed would have been possible. It is a 91 for this episode of Raw. You absolutely love to see it, folks. Look at these blue ratings up and down the card. Raw is on an absolute roll right now with easily our best show to date, and what a time for it to come then in week 1 of March, as we said, with the build to WrestleMania kind of firmly in our sight now, and we are hitting the next gear here as we approach that supercard. So I could not be more thrilled with this one. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Folks, this is just a taste of the drama that is still to come as we make our way to that huge and historic show of WrestleMania 22. I kind of hinted at it before. I will be doing everything in my power to make this WrestleMania show as special as I can. If you saw my Royal Rumble show, you'll kind of see that it was a bit of a longer show than normal, where I put a little bit of extra effort in just to make it a little bit of extra special. Well, you've seen nothing yet, folks. I kind of said it before, I'll say it again. I'm really going to try my best to make WrestleMania a really, really strong and memorable pay-per-view for everyone. So look forward to it. We've got 1 month left now, and a lot more angles and shows, hopefully, like this to look forward to as we make our way there. So the next show will, of course, be week 1 of March again for the SmackDown side, and we will continue there to build that show in hopefully much the same way as this one. So once again, hope you enjoyed it. I will see you back here for a next episode of SmackDown. But this is it, folks. WrestleMania is on the horizon. Let's go. Let's do this. I will see you next time.